It's too fucking easy to do this too. Hey guys, it's Erwin Yo, aka Sam Lambert. I'm gonna be looking over to this screen for the most part, but I can still look at you. I wanted to make a video today because I wanted to get something off my chest. I want to say something. This video is about how I can make myself harder to clone, and how with this thing that I do here, that I've been doing for over 3 years, not only does it make your mind more complicated, which means it's way harder to clone you, but it also means that because all the more stuff you got going on in your mind, and that's also expanding. Like, it's not just expanding, but it's accelerating in a rate because there's more shit going on in there. So let's say 10 miles per hour, then you got more shit in there. It's still expanding, but now it's like at 20 miles per hour. Then you're at 60 and 2 fucking hundred, 2 goddamn thousand, so on. So, yeah. So, first of all, I want to I do this for myself, but I also want to assure somebody, like in case they ever want to pursue something on the internet. Like for example, if they want to do YouTube or TikTok, that their brother is doing. Right? I won't say names. I promise. And yes, I've been watching fucking Spiritual Show, and he's fucking smart. Okay. So, what you want to do is that this is like a way to really just. This is the real way I like to run away, honestly. The only reason why I would ever want to get out of the house to really escape from people is because if that was the only way I could isolate myself. But if you got fucking earbuds and a thing that plays stuff on shuffle, and maybe you want to get yourself a Faraday bag just to block off, just in case you're using a phone and you're unable to get on airplane mode for some reason. So do that. I don't know about other situations like then you might have to go outside if your room's like that. But anyway, what I want to say is, after all this is that since early, fuck me, no, that's too early. I'm already saying fuck me, and it's too early for that too. What context? Fuck that shit. I don't want to get. No, I'm just being goofy now. But honestly though, since August 2016, we'll just go with that. Since August 2016, I got into something. I figured something out. You remember the song Party Rock Anthem by LMFAO? Well, you know the one part that says every day I'm shuffling, and is this fucking camera lens open all the way? It is. I don't know. I had something weird almost kind of crawling in there. I don't know if it was alive or not, but anyway. So there's a part that says every day I'm shuffling. People probably thinking, oh, there's just dancing, but no. This is some fucking shit right here. It took me from 2011 to 2016 to figure this out. Now, before you get on to me about this, yes, I know. That might not have been their intent, but let me fucking tell you something. The way I interpret it, over 5 years later, it's one of the greatest motherfucking things in my life. It really is. Because when you're playing music on shuffle and you're isolating yourself from everybody else and everything else, you turn off the TV, you turn off the radio, get your Faraday, just in case, You can get one for phone size for less than $30 last time I checked. You get one from Mission Darkness. MOS some shit. Motion. Can't you feel that motion in my brain where I'm trying to think of words? Yeah, okay, that's Static X, but I changed the lyrics around to that. But ever since I've been doing this shuffling thing, it's been the coolest thing. Like, or at least one of the very coolest things that I ever think of when it comes to maybe the top 5 or 10 things in the universe, in my opinion. At least it's somewhere up there. Now, spiritual soul, he talks about being in a matrix, right? Right. Yes, he does, though. I don't know why I did that. My uncle likes to wink. I'm getting fucking my eye up now. But what I want to say is that I lost track, but oh yeah, the Matrix, yeah. Um, if you spend a lot of time around your family, like you really spend a lot of time around them, um, there's going to be instances where you're going to end up thinking the same thing as each other, and you're going to be wondering, oh, whoa, I wonder if God is letting us reach our minds. Now, sure, Bob Proctor talks about how you can read thought waves, but that's not always the case here. We don't always read our thought waves, and even if we are reading thought waves, that doesn't necessarily mean we're picking out the right ones as, being the most relevant. You know, just because if we are picking up thoughts from somebody, that doesn't necessarily mean that's the most relevant thought of their mind, their decision and all that. You could just be picking up something that's secondary compared to that, and you might be localizing that in your mind as the most relevant or some shit. I don't know, but anyway, you find yourself doing the same things. You find yourself thinking the same things as another person. Now your first instinct might be like, yeah, more harmonious family. And that's good in a way. I understand that. I totally get that. But the problem is that like if you go up to your room and you're working on something, and I mean you have to be really deep in the fucking matrix with other people to really do this. So this is why shuffling's important, but I'll get to that. When you're up in your room and you're like coming up with something, you're like, yay, I came up with something, and then your parents or your brother or something came up with the same goddamn thing. And you're wondering how that happened. Now sure, it's possible that they may have reverse engineered off of, you know, off of whatever, like just because you can't conventionally hear something, that doesn't mean you aren't hearing it. You're still hearing it. It's just that it's like if you're in a grocery store and you hear all this loud shit, or if you're inside Sunset Boulevard. If you're in range, that's all that really matters. It's just that people hear it differently because of that overall mix. You know how you take something in Audacity and then you put two of the same thing together and it sounds louder when they're all both played together? Well, I mean, why do you think an audience sounds so fucking loud? I mean, that energy has to go somewhere, and then that just stacks up and it gets thicker like a fucking cloud. Smoke cloud, and it just gets thicker and fucking louder! Oh! Yes. But anyway, yeah, I mean, they could be hearing you, and maybe conventionally they may not be able to logically understand what you're saying, but their subconscious mind might be decoding that. You know, kind of like if you're training yourself to understand what speech sounds like through muffled, where you take one copy of the audio, and you take another copy of it, and you put a low pass filter in it, and you play the low pass in one of your ears, and then you play the regular in your opposite, and then you start training yourself to decode muffles and shit. Yeah, that's some shit. But anyway, so yeah, they come up with the same thing as you. You lose your goddamn originality. Shout out Mario, so lovely. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Or at least close enough to whatever, right? Exactly. I'm not going to get into that, but. So, and yeah, I know. I know what that other thing is too, what you're saying right now. And that's, well, even if you are by them, they're not hearing everything you do. Like, they might not have, they don't hear, like, and what I mean is like they don't have the same exact ear shape as you, so the equalization is not the exact same, or you might have a little more or less wax in them, and the equalization will be different. You got your own dynamic that way. I understand that, and like also from your point of view, because they can intellectualize and try to calculate all they want, but your subconscious mind is only going to be able to automate so much, and even with your intellectual factors, you're only going to be able to guess so much before you get one or two little things wrong. If you get one or two little things wrong, that's it, you're done. You're not going to be able to predict that person anymore. Once you go down that road, that's it. There's no turning back, Alice. Ever think about that? Maybe that was a hidden message. But alright, I don't want to get too sidetracked here. Let's see now. Yeah, and I get that too. I get that part. They're not like seeing it from your eyes, or they're not hearing it the same exact way you are, not the same equalization. But that's only going to do so much for you. You gotta understand this. That equalization is only going to do so much for you. It's only a matter of time before like the rest of the percent, like the 90, 95%, the rest is just like exact. And that can be pretty fucking scary because I find myself doing things automatically and I'm like, holy fucking shit, I did that? Or, wow, I fought to do that in my sleep when my tablet fell and I somehow knew to, be careful of it. That's because of my programming, because you're programming your subconscious mind. That's what's gonna, like, if you're sleepwalking and shit, like, or at least I feel like I kind of was. I mean, at least to myself consciously. Maybe I was conscious back then, and I just wasn't. I just can't remember it now. But yeah, my tablet fell one time. It slid. I have a more secure place now, but it slid, and um, I don't remember it at all. It's like I did sleepwalk or something. I slept walked it, but it was so neatly like set. Like almost like professionally just set it down and just like went back to sleep or something. That's because of my programming. And I thought, wow, holy shit, that's really powerful when you think about how you're programmed. And like if you're sleeping and then you're only operating subconsciously for like sleepwalking or whatever. I mean, I don't claim to be an expert on that, but whatever. Then you realize you gotta be really fucking careful with what goes in your mind. You want to know how to reject things, you go to my video on a playlist I got in the link in the description. It's like a blue tint and everything. It's called 112131, and I tell you how to like rewire shit, rewire phrases and all that, because you're not going to stop that from playing in your mind. You may as well take the word fuck and just say, oh, fuck's just a word and it's all fucked up. Or if you hear a couple of these words, for example, then just say, oh, Dick Van Dyke is in the movies, or Pussycat's just a word that Twitty uses. You're gonna have to fucking rewire that, I'm telling you. If you don't want the other shit running, you gotta practice the other context, man. You gotta, because your subconscious mind is a fucking record player. I hope you know that. And yes, I'm talking like spiritual soul now, but anyway, yeah. So I'm trying to relocate. Yeah. People getting the same ideas as you. Or you're getting the same ideas as them. Yeah. That's why you want to shuffle, so that way you add more rarity to yourself. The more you do this, like I said, I talked about the miles per hour thing now. That just gets faster and faster and faster, and you're going off in your own direction a lot faster and faster and faster, and no matter what you're getting fucking inundated with, the TV and radio, or maybe some bullshit that your family is saying to you protect yourself. And when you have shuffle going on, you can have all these shuffle combinations, and all these songs can keep shuffling back into themselves because of this like recency relevancy filter. But it's most recency, but relevancy is what your actual like decision, your like your main thought is, or maybe the vibration your body is based on the most relevant. Or at least that's the way I like to look at it anyway. So yeah, if you want to really run away, or at least like I did, like when I had bullshit going on with my family, like I didn't start or anything, don't get me wrong, okay? I mean, I word that kind of weirdly, but trust me though, I would just go up to my room and I fucking isolate myself and all this goddamn shit. I could put earbuds on, or maybe I could play the speakers at a low enough volume for myself mostly. And shuffle away. I run away. The only reason I would ever want to get out of the building is that was the only way I could isolate myself. But if I could isolate myself in my room, then all I need is something to hear things with. I make sure I'm isolated enough, and that I got shuffle. And I can go on to my own shuffle combinations and get more and more onto my own frequency, and literally, quite literally, not just figuratively, but literally go into my own fucking path here. That way I don't keep coming up with all the same shit that everybody else does, and then they start accusing me of stupid shit. You know, shout out Mario, so lovely, and all that, yeah. And all that shit, you know? So, yeah. But you know what, dude? Listen to me. I need you to listen to me right now. If you don't want to do YouTube or TikTok like your brother's doing, if you don't want to do that, then by all means, fucking avoid it and do what you love to do. I'm starting to sound a lot like Spiritual Soul, and I admit that. I've been watching him. He's fucking smart. But let me tell you though, dude, you do what you want to do. You don't have to do YouTube or TikTok just because somebody else is doing it, even if it's someone in your family. If you do want to do it, great. And I'm telling you right now how you prevent yourself from being cloned, because I know that was like a concern of yours at one point. Now, I don't mean any disrespect or anything, but you know, I want you to understand I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything in any way like that, but you don't really think you're that predictable, do you? You don't really think that people can just clone you that easily, right? Like I understand like David Bowie, I can't give everything away, but when you shuffle and you add more stuff to your brain like that, it's gonna be near goddamn impossible for you to give everything away, even if your life depended on it. Even if they stuck you in the fMRIs, that's gonna be near fucking impossible. Seriously, I'm not joking. I've been doing this fucking shit for 3 years. I know this. I didn't go and decide some fucking neuroscience shit. I got this shit from within, like Spiritual Soul does, and before I even knew about him or doing his spiritual stuff, you know, or like had my fucking paradigm shift in August 2019. You gotta understand that even back in August 2016, 3 years before, I was already like doing the shuffling thing, just turning off the radio, turning off the TV, isolating myself, just going to my shuffle combinations. And then I would put my back up against the wall and I closed my eyes and I relaxed, and I was practically meditating, if not meditating, honestly. And then I observed what was going on inside my mind. And I evaluated and reevaluated, and I repeated the cycle, and I've been doing this for over 3 years, and it completely holds up. And I'm still finding out stuff now, you know? Like small little technicalities or like little different tricks for certain things, like the 112131, which is more recent. But yeah, dude, you gotta understand, if you don't want to do it, if you don't want to do YouTube or TikTok, don't fucking do it. Go do what you want to do that makes you happy, honestly. I don't care if you do YouTube. I would like to subscribe to you. I would love to, and just like I did, I subscribe to your brother here, you know. But you don't have to do this shit. I'm telling you right now, you don't have to. You do what you want to do. But I'm telling you, if you ever do want to do YouTube or TikTok, just be rest assured that the more you shuffle, the more impossible that it's going to be to clone you in both ways. People copying you and people making you a copy of them or their fucking bullshit agenda, possibly. In most cases, it is bullshit agenda, honestly, for the people running the fucking Matrix. I'm not talking about the movie. I mean, the movie, I unfortunately, I don't think I ever really saw it, but, you know, yeah, don't get stuck in other people's matrices for too long. You can dip your toes in there for a little while, but don't ever let yourself drown in it. I'm just warning you right now. Don't drown in it. You can dip your toes in, that's fine. And you know, one thing that Spiritual Soul said is, don't let social media use you. You use social media. You control that bitch. As Spiritual Soul would say, or something like that. Don't ever let it control you. You stay in control the whole time. Okay? Alright. Uh, so, yeah, I'm just gonna get off of here right now. And, no, I'm not stressed, Catton. I just need to relax after doing this video. Not that I'm gonna shoot like another kind of video or anything. But anyway, thanks for watching and take care. Bye bye!